It's the 2023 NFL Draft. Buffalo's on the clock at 27. They're calling it one of the craziest drafts of all time since we don't know where anybody's going to go. Possible trade up to 10. Possible trade for Deandre Hopkins. We'll see what happens. The Bills.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have traded the 24th pick to the New York.
Oh, the Bills! They're on the clock!
The NBA playoffs continue with 2-game sixes Friday on ESPN.
Well, somebody just spoiled that it might be Dalton Kincaid. Oh, there's the Bills fans.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have traded the 25th pick to the Buffalo Bills. With the 25th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft.
It's going to be Dalton Kincaid because he already gave it away.
The Buffalo Bills select Dalton Kincaid, tight end, Utah.
And so the first tight end goes off the board tonight. He was a star basketball player in high school. Played only 1 year of high school football.
Hey guys, JKMan99 here to talk to you about the 25th pick overall in the 2023 NFL Draft, Dalton Kincaid. Okay. Weird draft, right? First of all, super long, especially for 31 picks. I thought that was going to make the draft go by quicker, but man, it just took forever to get to 25. We didn't have to wait till 27. Traded up with the Jaguars and drafted Dalton Kincaid. So, first off, before we even get started, I apologize for my lackluster reaction that you guys just saw because, unfortunately, the pick was already spoiled by the time I actually looked at the screen. So, someone wrote to me saying Dalton Kincaid with a bunch of question marks, and I'm like, no, that's not a guess. They read that somewhere, and they're probably right. So I thought it was going to be Brian Branch. That's what I thought we traded up for, because I thought they were like, ooh, like we need a replacement safety for Micah Hyde next year. But instead, we went for tight end to replace Dawson Knox. I don't know, guys. They say he's more of a wide receiver than a tight end, but I don't think we're going to be lining him up as our third wide receiver in place of McKenzie. So the question is, what are we going to do with this guy? And I got to say, like, that question, I love. The fact that I can't even tell you what we're going to do with him. Meaning that creatively our offense can try to figure out what we're going to do with him. And if I can't figure it out, my hope is that maybe NFL defenses won't be able to figure it out. I realize that's maybe thinking a little too high of myself, but no, like, I mean, obviously the Bills can survive with two tight ends. We did it with Keith McKeller and Pete Metzelaars during the Super Bowl era. We can do it again. They could use Dalton Kincaid as a fullback. They could use him, like I mentioned already, as another wideout, and they can use him as tight end. Another thing I'm thinking, though, is there's the whole Deandre Hopkins rumor that we're going to trade like a third-round pick away for Deandre Hopkins. I feel like the Cardinals might want tight end as well, and we might actually attach Dawson Knox to that trade. Now, I don't know. That's just a complete guess. No idea if that's on the table or not. I feel like to get DeAndre Hopkins, anything's going to be on the table, and a player exchange almost makes sense. If I'm not mistaken, we just signed Dawson Knox, right? So we're getting the rookie premium here in Kincaid, so I don't know how much we'd have to eat from the cap, but maybe trading him would be like a cost-saving method to get a better tight end. I can't even remember the last time the Bills drafted a tight end in the first round. So I think it's long overdue, almost like drafting offensive linemen, that we drafted this high up. The only problem is we already have a starting tight end. And normally I don't care about drafting a starter for some way we're going to lose in the future. Like, again, safety or even defensive end or any lineman. But the tight end position, I thought was pretty secure. Now, at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of Dawson Knox. So what I mean by that is, I mean, I like Dawson Knox, but I'm not like, oh my God, best tight end ever, Dawson Knox. So, I don't mind bringing in another tight end to challenge Dawson Knox. And I think that's the key word we have to use here is challenge. This doesn't mean Dawson Knox is now the second string tight end. Dawson Knox is still the starter until Dalton Kincaid comes in and removes Dawson Knox as the starter. I mean, last year, with Kaiir Elam, he never quite got to the starting role beyond Dane Jackson or even Christian Benford. So, for all we know, Dalton Kincaid's not going to get there either. But before we talk about like hypothetical scenarios, which I pretty much covered most of them, let me talk about the player a little bit. He played for both San Diego and Utah. He transferred, so he has a lot of college experience. He has 19 touchdowns. He had 19 touchdowns, I think, with San Diego. I'm not sure how many he had with Utah. He's six. He's six. No, he is. He's 6'3", 246 pounds. I think he caught 106 receptions, 1,400 yards. So pretty active tight end. And if you recall Dawson Knox's numbers, I hate to compare it, but I think in college he had like no touchdowns. So it's nice to get a tight end who's coming in with all that background. And quite honestly, guys, I think he was the #1 rated tight end in the draft. So I think this is something to be excited about. Just for that reason. Like, it's never a bad thing to add a better player at a position, even if it's at a position we already have. Like, I can't imagine picking a quarterback better than Allen in the draft, like right now, but let's say hypothetically we did. Who cares? Ooh, wow, we have a better quarterback now. Obviously there's loyalty and all that fun stuff, and that's important. That's extremely important, but it's also a business, and Dawson Knox has made his money, so I guess that's one way of looking at it. And like I already mentioned, it's not over for him. He might still be the starter, and Kincaid might never even be a starter. Which of course begs to question, why are we drafting this guy in the first round in the first place? And I think the reason for that is he fell. I expected him to go 18th over to the Lions. The Lions, for some reason, both their picks were second round value picks. In fact, when they picked up Jack Campbell, I thought that was going to mean that the Bills were going to pick linebacker almost certainly, because I was like, wait, if Jack Campbell is suddenly first round value now, then that means like Trenton Simpson's first round value, Mark Andrews is first round value, like the whole playbook's out the door basically. But unfortunately, that did not happen. We still have a linebacking hole, and I guess we're just going to go into tomorrow and hope that we can get one of those two top linebackers before they fall down to where the Bills pick, which unfortunately, I got to tell you, is highly unlikely. So I'm not very confident going into the season at the linebacker position. I was hoping that if we did bypass linebacker, it would have been for either, honestly, edge rusher, believe it or not, just to have that extra like backup, or for safety, or for lineman, or for wide receiver. I thought all of those positions would have been, or running back. I should mention that. Yeah, if Bijan Robinson in fact did drop. Yeah, Bijan would have dropped. Like, that would have made it, but he got picked at 8, so that was not even a question. Same thing with the receivers. You can't say that the Bills weren't thinking about it, because all 4 receivers went right in a row in the middle of the 20s. Who would have thought? And now look, they could have traded back to 19, but with 6 picks, it's hard to do that. So I think they were just like, okay, we missed out on all those people. Who else is still there that could have been picked? And I think that's where they came up with Dalton Kincaid. I did watch some interviews with him prior to the draft, and you know what? He kind of has, to me, he reminded me of Allen in his interview in terms of personality. So I think he hit that character level that the Bills look for. So there's all of that as well. And that's really all I have on Dalton Kincaid, guys. And I'm hoping we pick linebacker somehow in the second round, or maybe one of those good ones drops to the third. Though I will say, if they drop to the third, then we have 2 third-round linebackers with Bernard and then whoever we pick battling it out. And look, we can find some diamonds in the rough, maybe with Milano and everything. But this is clearly not what we had in mind when we picked Edmonds. I'm sure people were like, if Josh Allen was good, then we would just redraft linebacker once Edmonds left. I think that was everybody's mindset, and we didn't do that because, well, we picked Kincaid instead, and we did have linebackers opened up, unless the only one we wanted was Campbell. So, guys, that's really where we're at. I am curious to what you guys think about the first round pick, Dalton Kincaid. So leave a comment below and let me know what you think of Dalton Kincaid and whether or not it was a good pick by the Bills. I'm hearing so much mixed reactions. Some people love it, some people are confused, some people hate it. So I'm very curious what you guys have to say. All right, enjoy the rest of the draft. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the page. And as always, take care.